Well, where do we want to go this time? Scotland is waiting for me. It opens and closes automatically. This leads to the dreary plains of Scotland. Oh, how I love this place. I have no time for playing. It's a small plastic castle. It's a perfect match to the backdrop. This should be Urquhart Castle near Inverness. If I'm lucky, that means I'm close to finding that archaeologist. These show the arrivals and departures, just like every other airport. Well, normally they would, but somebody's playing Space Invaders on them now. Off we go! Here we are. I hope this is the right place. The taxi driver seemed very sure of himself.
Is there any news?
No, but there's trouble. One of our breedings has escaped.
Excuse me? How could that happen?
Obviously, someone forgot to close the door to the laboratory. The breeding object is probably still in close proximity.
Slavic. We have to report this to the king immediately. Set up a connection.
Hi, this is David Fox. Hey, you seem familiar. You're that guy from my dream last night. Yeah, in my dream I saw you, those huge nose glasses and some strange face on Mars.
He knew too much. I had to exterminate him.
Slavic, let me speak to the king, now.
Of course. A connection established.
Boss, can you hear me?
Slavic, what is it this time?
Sorry, boss, but it's an emergency. I was just informed that one of our breeding objects has escaped.
That cannot be true. Come off it. Evacuate the greenhouse and dispatch guards immediately. And give those green weeds some more of our serum. They have to obey me, and me alone.
Of course, Master. We arranged that.
The ruins of an old Scottish castle. Now all I need is a thunderstorm, a beautiful woman, and no shirt, and we've got a romance novel cover. He's the only fisherman for miles. That's got to be Dr. Levy's colleague. Hi there.
Shh! You're about to chase away the fish!
You don't seem to catch anything anyway.
Well, basically, you even had a point here. But I'm afraid I have no time for long conversations today. I made a promise to my wife to catch a big fish for dinner. But as I can see, nothing wants to bite.
What do you suggest? Do you have bad technique?
My laddie, you don't remember those ancient electronic TV games with the fishing rods, do you?
Yeah, I remember those. They were kick-ass.
Hey, yeah, since I've been practicing those for several years, and your argument about the wrong technique just doesn't catch.
Could it be you're using the wrong bait?
Oh, that would even be the case. That's because those Scotch worms are extremely hydrophobic. You throw them on your rod, and willy-nilly they just jump off your hook. Now what a cheek.
Never heard of that before. How do you get around it?
Well, I use worms made from wine gums, but obviously I'm still unable to use that as an effective bait for fish.
Maybe Nessie ate all the fish.
You don't really believe those cock and bull stories, are you?
Well, I'm gonna go look for some other things around here.
Not many, my laddie. Not many.
I could look around for more suitable bait he could use. Maybe this will make him a bit more communicative. Hey, why not use this for bait?
Aye, sir. That looks real good. But how am I to fasten the bait to my tiny hook? Thanks, my boy, but without a bigger hook, this mission will surely fail. Here, my laddie, my fishing rod. Here you are. Please see to it that you can find me a bigger hook. I'm gonna wait until you return, aye?
I've sharpened the coat hook. Now it has an extremely sharp point. Okay, I'll remove this small hook and replace it with the coat hook I found at Stanislav's. Looks like I've got a bigger hook now.
Yeah, that's real good, chap. Off you go. Well, old chap, you wouldn't have reckoned such a handsome kind of fish, would ya? Ta much, because without you, the result would have been zilch. You can barely imagine the stink my missy would have kicked otherwise.
I do what I can.
After all these years, I would have given up the thought to actually finding any fish here ever. But alas, I forgot to bring my cooler.
Ew. From the looks of it, this is well beyond the expiration date.
Yeah, I really gotta look sharp. But there's a little time left for me spinning some sailor's yarn if you wish.
Well, something's been bothering me. Your accent isn't like the others, and you don't look like a typical fisherman. It's all a little fishy to me.
Congratulations for those good ears of yours. Look, I feel I can trust you. So yes, Switzerland is where I come from, and that whole thing is a disguise, because you can never be too cautious these days.
I've spoken to your old colleague, Dr. Levy, in Paris.
Good old Giulio chap. How's he doing?
Fine, I guess. He's ordering highfalutin stuff like starfish, blueberry ragout, and more there.
That old footy has always known how to spell savoir vivre.
He told me about your experiments and how some shady club shut you down. Can you tell me anything else?
So you're very likely to know about our research project. We did observation and research into cases of sudden, unnaturally strong plant growth. Shortly before our breakthrough, that particular horticultural club came in, and speaking of which, what was its name? Mechanical Peace was the name. Those guys were reported to be meddling with the Swiss government, and even had the Swiss army behind them. When the court slapped us with a restraining order to axe our research, accusing us of species inappropriate plant housing, the army invaded our greenhouse and declared it a military exclusion zone.
So much for that infamous Swiss neutrality.
Eventually, they conveyed both our entire research material and results to that horticultural club, with the intention that it would take care of the reconciliation of our experimental plants.
Species inappropriate plant housing? Might as well throw anybody who owns a plant in jail. Do you know what grounds they accused you on?
By and by, the suspicious arose in me that this dubious organization has done research on similar phenomenons before we did. That's why they wanted to have us out of the way. The thought they only wanted to get the Nobel Prize before us is most absurd, though.
But instead?
Just imagine what a man could do if he had the power to control the plant growth. He could easily control the botanical market of the entire world.
Oh, yes, that would be a horrible situation, wouldn't it?
Without any doubt, because whoever had such a power would be able to produce magnificent plants in just one day, easily flooding every market. That could be a disastrous thing. because who knows if the plants cultivated this way will be able to ever reach the quality of the ordinary ones. Just use your imagination and think about plants aging faster. That is, you would buy a rubber tree, and by the end of the week, it would be dead. Confidence in plants would be shaken big time. No one would ever buy plants again, and we would end up living in a world without any indoor plants. What a horrible thought.
World population says goodbye to LO. Sounds pretty ridiculous. But couldn't this same technology be used to ruin fields? If this somebody made whole areas infertile, they could corner the market and make billions.
No, that sounds completely preposterous.
So what did they do with your papers?
Well, they occupied our entire greenhouse. I was there again once, but I was unable to get any closer anymore because the whole area is securely fenced and heavily guarded.
What would they need so much security for?
Most probably they've simply taken their own creations there, and P3800MS just want to use our results in order to bring theirs to perfection.
So I guess the only way to stop this insanity is to take a closer look. In Zurich.
So be fair warned, if you intend to walk around the security zone, it's vital for you to wear an effective disguise, because in there, everything is well guarded. And if you just stand out from the crowd a bit, you never know. Maybe you'd become Audrey's next dinner.
Whose dinner?
Audrey, she's a carnivore plant of a yet unknown species, P5500MS. I brought her with me many years ago from an expedition in the Mexican territory. She was the first plant to be responsive to our experiments, which led to her strict aversion to insects. She wants a more exquisite food now, you know?
Ugh, I don't want to think about that. Thanks for the advice, though. I'll try to come up with a good disguise. Ever wonder why this fish looks so hairy?
Yeah, I do. And it reminds me of times when I was still at sea with my fishing boat. For days nothing would bite, and then suddenly...
You don't have to pretend. I know you don't own a boat, let alone know how to use one.
Fair enough. Yes, you've caught me. But I also have to think of my disguise.
Okay, I think I have to run.
Tight lines, my laddie, and make sure to keep a stiff upper lip, eh?
I could try to cut off the hair. Would it be alright if I gave this hairy fish a little shave?
Sure thing. Just go on.
Can I borrow your fishing rod for a bit, please?
Just go on, laddie. I even postponed my plans of fishing to next week anyway.
Well, let's go over the plan. If I'm going to Zurich, I'll have to have a good disguise. Disguise? Maybe a mask. Yes! Good idea. But where to get one? And where are we going to fly this time? Finally, I can go back to home sweet home San Francisco. Where am I supposed to go now? I ought to visit the infiltrator office. Let's go there. Home sweet home. Good idea. Maybe now I can get her glasses.
blurry.
Ha! Now that's what I call a good catch. To the airport, please. My ticket to Mexico.
Attention passengers, this is your captain speaking. Unfortunately, I must inform you that our plane has drifted far from our planned route because of a malfunction of the navigational system. As we are low on fuel and struggling with strong turbulence, I'm afraid that we must make an emergency landing. Please stay calm, remain in your seats, and buckle up. There is absolutely nothing to be worried about. If we should survive the after landing, our technicians will immediately repair any damage. Because of our staff shortage, one of the passengers will have to search the area for fuel. We will decide who will go by drawing lots. As it is very cold outside, the brave volunteer will of course receive one complimentary hot beverage. I will inform you when we begin our final descent. Oh my god, we're out of fuel. We have to land immediately.
Jeez, my worst nightmare. Thanks to some major turbine damage, my plane made a forced landing. And by that, I mean landing out in the middle of nowhere. I think this is the North Pole. And to make things even worse, if I don't find some jet fuel, I won't be able to get out of here. That hot coffee should be able to warm me up a bit. Now I'm not freezing anymore. Let's go. Good idea. I could use those skis as a footbridge. Snowman? How'd this get here? Hey, buddy. How are things? Whoops. I broke him. Hey, he was sitting on top of something shiny. Jet fuel cans. I've been looking all day for these. Nothing's gonna stop my world trip now. Figures I'd have to go up there. Yeah, I think I've finally gotten the hang of these glyphs. I'm not an expert, and I'll probably pronounce it all wrong, but the inscription reads, Sesamo abierto, soy su amo. I hope this will help me figure out what's going on here. Sesamo abierto, soy su amo. Hey, This gets better and better by the minute. Looks like I found another secret room. Another metal plate. From the looks of it, this chamber's full of secret alcoves. There are 3 pyramids, each of which is a different size. Something's happening. The hell? This looks like a Caponian skull. So wait, the Aztecs had made contact with the Caponians? They've been trying to conquer the world for centuries. Either they prayed to this Caponian like a god, or they sacrificed him to one. Like a great story. Once I'm done saving the world, I have to come back here and dig up more ancient records. The written kind, not the heavy metal kind. Uh-oh, that little voice in my head is saying, take it again. I guess I better put that in my inventory.
For centuries, the Caponians reigned over much of the earth. Hundreds of thousands were enslaved and forced to build imposing structures. Harbors for their spaceships, monuments that symbolized their immeasurable power. They appeared as high priests and brought fear and terror. All their power and energy came from a purple crystal. The Scholarians managed to drive off the Caponians and hide the artifact. But now that they have returned and gained back the crystal, it is up to you to protect the Earth. This skull will be of help to you.